San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, according to the New York Post, Spurs, Knicks, Nets, Heat, and Warriors all rumored to be eyeing Giannis Antetokounmpo should he look to make his way out of Milwaukee. Spurs getting ready for the Summer League. Training camp is going to be underway starting this Sunday, and they'll start Summer League play on July 10th when they take on the 76ers. Also face Memphis, Utah, and...
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger?
Can't stop me now! Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be locked in listening via our Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you are watching live on YouTube, that's right, we stream all of our shows live via YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe while you're there. You feel free to comment along. Sam already in the chat. Going back to the Blitz, wondering why it took me 8 years to finish at Texas State. Asked if there were breaks. There were lots of breaks. There were some where I only took 2 or 3 courses per year. Changed my major about 4 times while I was there. Lots going on when I was at Texas State. Little had to do with education. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody for rolling through with me on this Friday as we take you into the weekend. Jacob Ayers says his cousins put him down for 50 wins on the Spurs this year. That's a lot. I need to see what they do because as currently constituted, I don't like the construction of this team. I don't think they have any shooters outside of Harrison Barnes, and they have no bigs outside of Wemby. So I think they need a big. I think they need floor spacing, whether it's Santi Aldama or Brook Lopez. You can knock out 2 birds, 1 stone with Lopez like that. I don't know what they need to do. I just need to see them address some of the holes that are on this roster. And as you heard, to leave my Sports Center, New York Post, Spurs back in it when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, AJ and Rob talking about Giannis and the Spurs, the cost, and whether that cost should be chased.
People on the Brigade Bar, if Giannis is truly available, I hope the Spurs dangle Castle, Vassell, Sohan, and Atlanta's pick. See what the Bucks say.
There's going to be a lot of guys like this, AJ.
SRS says Castle, Vassell, Keldon, and ATL picks. Think the Bucks bite.
Where are you?
That doesn't sound unreasonable to me. And I love Steph Castle. You know, I loved Steph Castle coming into the process last year.
Same.
I think you just lucked your way into a guy who I believe is probably a more physically capable version of Steph Castle. So if you told me I give up Castle, Vassell, Keldon, and a first, and I brought in Giannis, just answer me this.
I wouldn't say no to that either, AJ.
How many starting fives?
That's still too cheap.
How many starting fives would be better than
none?
Wemby, Giannis, Harrison Barnes, Dylan Harper, and De'Aaron Fox.
None. But the thing is, they know that. The rest of the league knows that. And even though Durant went for X, doesn't mean that Giannis goes for Y. It doesn't follow. Giannis is a different cat in a different part of his career. It'll be more expensive than that. If it's that cheap, I say yes now. Now, I'll say that.
Wait, if they say we want 2 firsts?
No, I'd even go down the road. But there is some of me that now that Dylan is in the building and he's held his jersey and we've talked to him and he's real, he's got all 10 fingers and toes, that he's now mine, And so I there's the bird in the hand effect. And I know what I had in Steph Castle. It would be easier for me to trade Dylan than Steph Castle because Steph has already proven to me. He's already, Dylan is as good as he looks. Castle's already gone through the season, already done Rookie of the Year stuff, already shown me this dude is legitimately an NBA guard. And I expect Dylan Harper to do that, but he still hasn't.
That's fair.
And there's part of me that goes, I'd just rather trade Dylan.
I mean, maybe he's more valuable to another team, and that's entirely possible. And if so, fine.
But now that he's in the building, I'm kind of like, well, I've already adopted the stray animal. I can't go back. I can't go turn him into the fire station. He's mine now. I've already taken him.
First of all, if I were the Spurs and the Bucks were asking for one of them, I wouldn't quibble over which one they wanted.
I know, AJ, and it's hard for me to get there. And I think there's a lot of Spurs fans that are just kind of risk averse just because we haven't had to risk before.
I get it.
And this is a step the likes of which that truly will alter the future of the franchise, either in a remarkably wonderful way, or it could tilt and this thing could crack open and no stadium gets built. And that's another dynamic that we haven't brought up, that you bring Giannis and suddenly it makes it a whole lot easier to vote for Project Marvel when you actually have an Avenger to live in it, Yeah. So I think that there's some more stuff in play that we have to always consider when we're talking about bringing in a Giannis, and it might have nothing to do with the actual basketball court that he would walk on. It'd be the one that he would help get built over the next 5 years.
But this is not bringing in a 37-year-old Kevin Durant.
No, and
this is bringing in a guy who is currently one of the 5 best players in the world and will likely be for at least 3-4 more years. The opportunity to get those guys does not come around often, and when it does, you find a way to make it work. If it's reasonable, you find a way to make it work.
I have to be title worthy for the next 3 years in my mind to even consider whatever deal comes through. And I'm not saying one guy's more valuable than other, but I got to look at the sum total of the parts that I would have over the next 3 years after bringing Giannis in. The odds better be very much in my favor to win a title for me to begin to make the deal. But if it's close and I'm there, I got to do it. You got to do it because, first of all, it brings all the winning and all that. But the long-term ramifications of a successful Spurs team in October and November of this year are so important. I mean, the Spurs PR group in San Antonio and everybody that's all in on this Project Marvel might have the best campaign ever, and everybody starts to buy in. Spurs stumble out of the block. Giannis looks bad. Our draft pick ain't working, and we're 0-7, and everybody's going to the polls on November the whatever to invest billions. It's just, I know it'd be short-sighted to vote that way. What happens is the pro guys don't go vote. They just stay home.
Tony says, Giannis is amazing, but wouldn't provide long-term success because giving up picks and his long-term contract. Here's the thing, and this is why I think Giannis is maybe the best of any of the, like, any superstar to add to San Antonio now. Like, and well, obviously he's the only one of this caliber who's available or seemingly available, unless Nico Harrison is just kicking himself in the balls. But I think Giannis is such a perfect fit here because Giannis makes you a contender today, which is something the Spurs right now, I think we can admit, are not. They didn't make the playoffs this year. They are not a contender. Giannis, Wemby, Fox, Barnes, and one of the last 2 years' first picks, either Harper or Castle, makes you a contender for the title this year. And probably for the next at least year or two after that. By the time Giannis is in a decline, if you were going to have long-term success anyway, this franchise, it's always been, is Wemby going to be a top 5 player in the league? In 2 years, by the time Giannis starts to decline, Wemby should have ascended to become a top 5 player. And then you have guys who want to come here and play with Wemby. Like, so
AJ, you're describing the 1999 San Antonio Spurs.
To a T.
The only difference is
You
we
just
didn't
drafted
trade
him.
Yeah, we didn't trade for Tim. We drafted him, and it's a reverse.
but it also took some good fortune to even have a chance to draft him.
So the opportunity here, I get it. I thoroughly understand that those that don't understand history are doomed to repeat it, or the vice of that, or the versa of this is those that know their history are destined to understand what happens next. We know this works. This happened before. We did it. We watched one ascend, one descend. Both of them were more than happy to attain and give up as it was appropriate. And we won basketball games for 2 decades. So I get it, and I would be all in. But the only thing that would keep me from making a deal would be I have to know that I'm competitive for the next 3 to 4 years. After that, it's okay. I'll that's plenty of time for me to retool and retrain. That's all I can ask for. And if I've got that starting five and a couple of guys that I look forward to seeing grow, dude, I make the deal. I make the deal, and I wave goodbye to somebody like we did long time ago to get one more title with George Hill. We had a kid that we loved, that we knew was going to be a star, but we had to say goodbye because Kawhi was even more important.
Yep. Listen, I love Steph Castle. I love Dylan Harper, and I wouldn't give one of them up for Kevin Durant, if I'm being honest. Kevin Durant's not Giannis at this point. Like, if you'd said Kevin Durant 5-6 years ago, sure. Giannis today, I would give up any player on this roster short of Victor Wembanyama and be fine. Feel like I can make that work, because, like I say this all the time, and I know it's probably you're probably annoyed of hearing it. You don't win NBA titles without a top 5 player in the league. Giannis gives you a top 5 player in the league now, and he should be a top 5 player in the league long enough for Wemby to develop into a top 5 player in the league. And now you're talking about a 10-year window of having one of the best 5 players in the world, which is what you need to win a title. So how you say no to that, I don't understand.
Well, I think it's not about no from them. It's about us being willing to kind of push your chips in, to go, it's time to plant my feet, make a stand, and go make a difference or make a change. And some of this I could lay it, for Peter John, for Peter Holt, the new ascendancy. Maybe this is your opportunity to cross a line and truly become the owner-in-chief of the Spurs and make a deal the likes of which other ownership your daddy would have never made.
Yeah.
You plant your flag and go get the dude, and worry about 5 years from now. But at least knowing I've given myself every opportunity to win a title over the next couple of years. And more importantly, I've given the backdrop with Giannis, De'Aaron, name either Castle or Harper and Wemby, to build and transform this city, to transform the very essence of what San Antonio is and will be for the next 50 years. And it could be a deal like that is the linchpin to do it. I can see sitting alone at night with my Johnny Walker blue, figuring out I've conquered the world. What's next? And this is the move I make.
There's a lot of truth in everything that they said right there when it comes down to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Spurs, Project Marvel being a part of this. All of it matters. We'll get into some of it, plus your phone calls, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Would you be willing to risk it for a Giannis Antetokounmpo to add to Victor Wembanyama? We'll discuss coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
JD, do you ever ride a bike?
Beach bike, yeah, I ride the bikes.
So you got a fat tire bike?
Fat tire bike. It's brown over gold, and it's got a handy basket.
Oh, we've got JD's twin brother here.
Yes, DJ Ryan here. Hi, JD. And he'll crank it up. He'll crank it up to 14 miles an hour and ride with ferocious intent.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED. including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton and Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I appreciate y'all riding along with me this evening. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to take up the entirety of this show, and I look at it this way, especially earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle. I heard it. The Spurs dynasty might have ruined Spurs fans and their thought of how easy championships can be, how good it is, because the Spurs never could get over that hump until 99. They spent their entire existence falling short. You got 3 Hall of Famers together at the same time that had very little egos and were willing to delegate responsibilities, fame, whatever it may be. Manu going to the bench, Tony being second until it was his turn to be first, and then drafting a Kawhi Leonard to help you get that 5th and final title. But other than that, it has been hard for this team to achieve a title. And if you look at the way the NBA is constructed right now, the last 7 champions have been different. In the 2020s, we haven't had a repeat champion. Not since, I believe it was 16-17 with the Warriors. You can hang around the rim, But Giannis gives you 6 to 7 years of being able to compete for a title with Wemby. And that gives you a chance to create another dynasty. And then when he moves on, Wemby takes what he learned from Giannis and continues from there. And other players will want to play with him because of the type of player he is. They already want to play with him now. You have to seize these types of momentums, advantages, while you have the opportunity. Because as we learned with Kawhi Leonard, not everybody's cut from the same cloth. We thought he was the next Tim Duncan and going to carry him into the future. San Antonio wasn't a part of his long-term plan. We don't know what Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle are. And to be fair, while I love Stephon Castle, loved him coming out of the draft, thought he was the best player in that draft, passing on guys like Donovan Clingan, who a bunch of guys wanted. I remember, need a big, Donovan Clingan, need a banger, blah, blah, blah. Take the best guy. Stephon Castle's the best guy. Rookie of the year. Probably not the rookie of the year if McClain doesn't get hurt in Philadelphia. And even with being rookie of the year, Michael Gilchrist was a rookie of the year. We don't know what his future is as a player. I think it's going up, 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 up. Hopefully his offensive game continues to develop. But one thing I do know about him, Dylan Harper is going to be an offensive force. More than likely. I don't know if he'll bring the same type of defensive force that Stephon Castle brings. And what are you trying to build around Wemby? Are you trying to build a defensive team, or are you looking for someone that can give you 30 points a night? You strike while the iron's hot. You attempt to make every bit of Wemby count while you can. AJ brought up this morning, Yao Ming cut short due to injuries. This past year, Wemby, blood clot. We saw blood clots end Chris Bosh's career. As Sam says, and as Joe so loves to eloquently put it, you just don't know. And you don't. That's one thing I will say is you don't know. You don't know what the future holds. You can set yourself up in position. And what good are all these draft picks and draft capital and young players and assets if you never materialize them? Because as we've seen, yes, Stephon Castle was a hit. Yeah, Wemby was a hit. Luka Samanic was not. Gary Neal was an okay player. James Anderson never became what people thought he might be. Keldon Johnson, we can say, probably never got to the point we thought he was going to be after his first couple of years and going to the Olympics and stuff like that. I'm free to say Devin Vassell has not lived up to what I think he could and should be. Jeremy Sohan. It's going to be you have to be very careful because potential is the greatest thing. And that's why when you're trading for Giannis draft picks and all this other stuff, it makes fan bases because of the potential of a Cooper Flag, the potential of a Dylan Harper, the potential of getting the next Wemby. That's what you're sold is potential. And sometimes you end up with Anthony Bennett. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Call your loved ones. Let them know you're thinking about them. You never know what people are going through in life. And a simple, hey, how you doing could change someone's day. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you right back here on Monday on Extra Innings with Pledger. And don't forget to start off your day at 6 a.m. Monday with the Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Till then, we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Ready to order.
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card.